still say it was about an inch and a half too short, but he insisted. Now I'm the captain of the boat, and it's just like if you are in your car and somebody throws drugs in your car on the floor, you're responsible for it. The same idea here with like size fish and different baits and what you're killing and catching and all the other stuff. You're responsible. That's why they call you the captain when you own your own boat and you're out here. So it was kind of iffy, but I did give him a benefit of the doubt. They knew what he was talking about. Later on that night when I went home and did a little bit more research, I don't think it was so, but I don't want to say yes, I don't want to say no. I don't think he's a bad guy, but it was one of them iffy days where we were catching a ton of shark out here again. We had a grouper earlier that day. I think the grouper has to be like 32 or 36 inches. It was a black grouper, and I had said we can't have it. I'm the one who caught it anyway, so it didn't matter. And when I threw it overboard, they were barking at me a little bit. But like I said, I play by the rules. I get the fish in the ocean's plentiful, and some of the rules they make are a little bullshit, as I'm finding out now, especially with these damn sharks. But that that mutton snapper was a little bit iffy. I should have said no, but I said yeah. So if we got pulled over, I would have gotten fined. I mean, they'll take your boat, they'll do all kind of shit. Just like if they find drugs, they'll impound your car. Same idea on the water. And believe me, down here in the Florida Keys, it ain't like up north. We'll probably even see one go by. There'll be the National Guard, the Coast Guard. You'll see Marathon Sheriff, or the Keys Sheriff, and you'll see, Monroe Sheriff, and you'll see the state police. You'll see everything out here. And they're really checking. Trust me, there's some boat out there somewhere that they're law enforcement, and they're watching everybody out here. Mark my words. So, my buddy Kuiper up in Pennsylvania, he knows what I'm talking about. Especially when we go up the Salmon River in Pulaski and fish for the Atlantic salmon up there. There's Fish and Game Commission. They're in the woods. They got the binoculars. They're paying attention. They're seeing what you're doing, looking for people to foul hook and not play by the rules. But I do try to play by the rules. But that's one day, even to this day. Now that was a couple months ago, maybe 2 months ago, and I still feel like shit about it. Because that fish should have been thrown back in for another day. Now what's cool about it is, from what I understand, after a mutton snapper, after about 10 inches, I'm not sure yet, and something else I have to research. Mutton snapper, after about 10 inches, grows about an inch a year. So you got to think, like, you catch a 27 inch, or it's after 17 inches, I think it is. I don't know, I got to follow. Somebody research that. I think it grows 1 inch after 17 inches a year. There's some kind of rule. So some of these bigger ones, man, you catch a 40-inch mutton. That's a pride and joy. That's a great granddaddy. He's been around for a few years out there. And one thing I know for sure, especially with fish, man, the older they get, the smarter they are. And we all know that, just like deer. So any of those deer hunters up north, the older ones, they get smarter. They turn nocturnal. They're sleeping during the day. You got to get somebody to push them, to move them out. So the same idea with fish. At least that's my opinion. I could be wrong. Yeah, I know I'm hardly ever wrong, but that's it. I'm going to keep this thing rolling, so I'll be editing through and some of my other nonsense. I'm hoping we can get a grouper or something so everybody can get an eye on one of these things. Especially mutton snappers are pretty neat. They're like an orangey, reddish. They got like trimmed fish. It's really neat. They look, to me, everybody's talking about it. To me, that's like, maybe like the freshwater carp. But down here, they're sought after. They really are. It's a good eating fish. I have eaten the mutton snappers. It's good. The yellowtails, the yellowtail's the one I can bring up north and make a fortune off of. Some of the Chinese restaurants. A lot of you people that eat sushi will know that yellowtail is a good sushi food. A very good sushi food. So now this here is what's bugging me a little bit. This is flexing back pretty good. So the slack water might have moved a bit up a little bit. No, Yeah, the current's moving a little bit more. I only have 5 ounces of weight on these guys. I got a slip sinker going. And yeah, see, we're in 141 feet of water now. I don't know if you can see that. This is the fish finder. Yep, I just use it for depth. A lot of guys use it for fish and other stuff. So what I usually wind up doing, because I'm only targeting 100 to 130 feet, when I hit 150, pull them back in and go back to 120, because right now the drift is going away from shore. So if I start at about 90, 95 feet, I'll drift through the 100, 110, 120, 130, go to 150, fire the motors back up, which Mercedes here, she loves when I fire it back up, because it brings her a little bit of cool air, because you can see her. That's my chop right there. I made a video the other day with her on the boat. Just telling everybody that, yeah, it's not my motor running, it's Mercedes over there, because somebody says, it sounds like your motor's running. Why do you leave your motor running? It's not, it's her, it's loose lips back behind me. But it's warm right now. There's no, absolutely no, no wind at all, zero wind. And I don't know if you can see out there, we're barely moving. Now on my boat, I got the dual hull, I got a Seacat, you know, the twin motors, the dual hull, because it cuts through the chop real good when it's real bad out here. This thing will handle pretty good 6-7 foot seas, where single hull 20-some foot boats can't get through that. It's just too bad for them. You tip too much and just too rocky for them. But the dual hull, which I got here because there is a windy season, and shout out to my co-owner of the boat, Todd Sayers. He's coming down today. He should be here today, coming down for a few weeks. We bought this specifically because if it is too windy out here, if there's a storm and really pushes up the waves, well, we can come out here and troll. I was hoping out here usually between 120 and 140, you'll see sailfish out there. You'll see their fin come up the top of the water. So as I edit this video, I'm going to look to see if there is any, and then I'll point it out and I'll actually put it on the clips. It's actually pretty neat to be sitting here just like chilling. You'll see dolphins go by and crazy stuff you see. Anybody who's been out in the ocean on their own, there's stuff out here you just don't tell nobody, because it's like, you know, everybody look at you like you're bullshitting them. So, you know, so that's what. So anyway, we got the dual hull because, like I said, we control out here because you control mahi out here, which is the big bulls. That's still on my hit list. I haven't caught a mahi yet. It's on my hit list. There's sailfish. You got the black marlin, the blue marlin. I mean, it's just barracudas, wahoo. I mean, there's wrecks over here. I don't know if you can see these boats. Let me bend this up a little bit. There's boats over there. I don't know if you can see them. There's like 3 of them. There's a guy over there. There's a wreck. It's called the Thunderbolt out that way. It's a big barge. And that gets fished really heavily, which amazes me, because like we were talking about fish being smart, they still wind up going back to that because, you know, it's covered. They can go hide inside stuff there, which is understandable. I mean, aggressive situation, we're all going to hide. You know, we fight or hide, so the fish are the same way. But they keep going to that Thunderbolt, and guys just pull some monster fish out of there, man. Like, I think there was like a 56-inch king caught the other day, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not 100% sure, but it was a 50-some inch for sure. One of my neighbors where I live at the Key by the Sea, Chip, he's a real good dude. He's one of the guys I like there. He brings home those big muttons all the time, you know, and then they'll smack a grouper every once in a while. And they keep telling me different things, but the secret is, I got one of these here. So again, if you come down to the Florida Keys and you have your own boat, this is what you want, one of these top spots, right? What's nice about this is waterproof. Right? It tells you, I got one. I got all excited when I finally found what these were. I got all excited. It tells you all the fishing spots, where to go, blah, 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 blah. But as you can see here, I'm all excited because I like to fish the deep water. I don't like the shallows. Too many guys up there. You'll see the boats on the way back. But this only goes up to 150 feet of water. So some of these big attractions for fishing, refishing, are in 250 or 180 to 250, 300 to 1,000 feet of water. And like I said, this thing only goes to right here. What's the highest it goes to? It's 228 right here. But over where I live in this area here, it only goes to 108 feet. So I have to get, supposedly they make another one where it goes into the deeper water, because there's the Marathon Humps, which is about 30 miles out. It takes me about, I think about 40 minutes to get there. But that's you know, that's the 1,000+ feet stuff too, and it's kind of exciting. But other than that, man, that's it. This is the Florida Keys. This is where I moved. Some people are asking. I'm not starting a show. A lot of guys ask me to start a show, and all, I'm not. I'm just gonna, you know, share on Facebook, maybe some YouTube videos, but nothing serious. Just enjoy myself, man. I'm loving this life. Absolutely love it down here. I wouldn't want to be anywhere else on the planet, and I've been saying for a while, God must have built this thousands of years ago when he put this world together. He knew I was coming here in 2020, and he built the bottom of Florida the way it is right now, specifically for me. At least that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I'm going to go a couple more feet here, and then we're going to head back into about 90 to 95 feet. But this is me living my dream. I'll die here. Yeah, see, it's like 30 feet off the bottom. This is the shout out to Penn Reels. This is the squall. See, I feel it on the bottom. See where it slacks a little bit? Feel it on the bottom, and then I just pull it up 5 to 10 feet. Maybe like that.